Hi, I'm Steve Adams from Racing Index, and in this video I'll be taking a look at the Northern Monkey Punter horse racing tipster. The service has been run by Wayne Punter since 2010 and he's been proofing selections to Racing Index since he started out. It mostly focuses on the better quality races, class 4 and above with 10 or more runners. As with several of the tipsters who proof selections to Racing Index, since the start of 2021 I've been checking the early odds available on his selections at the time he sends out the bets. Okay, let's jump over to the computer and take a look at Wayne's service and see how his selections have been performing. The website is northernmonkeypunter.co.uk. Wayne openly admits his service isn't going to suit everyone. To get the most out of his selections, you're going to need bookmaker accounts rather than backing them on the betting exchanges. He likes to include doubles and trebles in his bets, and as this year's Cheltenham Festival draws nearer, there's been a fair few anti-post bets including multiples rolling up into the festival selections. Wayne studied ecology at the University of York, and with the top-class racecourse on his doorstep, it was there that he developed a casual interest in horse racing and started writing his own blog on the sport. It was from making a small profit from that he later decided to launch the Northern Monkey Punter service. Wayne runs the service alongside his full-time racing journalism role, which back in 2014 included writing a Saturday column for the Racing Plus newspaper. He considers his racing season to run from the 1st of December through to the end of November the following year. He provides an annual review where he looks back at how the service has performed over the previous year. I've not seen any other tipping service do this in so much detail, and if you're thinking of joining the service, it's well worth a glance as it provides a good insight into what to expect. At the bottom of the review, he provides overall profit figures with a breakdown between single and multiple bets. Starting with last year's review, he includes high and low profit figures, with the high figure based upon best advised odds and the lower based upon those more readily available at the time he sends out the bets. As you can see, it can make quite a difference to the profits. I'd just like to read you his explanation behind showing the two figures, as I feel it's key to understanding the profits that can be achievable following the service. At the end of the 2019 annual review, I said I would be logging two profit totals this year, one for the profit to highest advised odds and one to the lowest advised odds, as I've been underselling the true profitability of the service's bets in previous years by only recording them to the lowest odds. I've always been very laissez-faire about settling to lowest advised odds because I know most members beat my profit figures, and I'd consider that a USP of the service in an industry where tipsters overinflate their records. However, honesty can sometimes be taken for granted, and I felt I needed some real numbers to back up my claim, based on member feedback, that most members can beat the lowest odds. My service scored higher than any other Hall of Fame service for odds availability in the SBC's horse racing tipster rankings, so it was suggested to me that I log two profit totals for this year. The highest advised odds figure would be comparable to those used by most other services. It is thus interesting to have a full year's worth of results to compare now. As you can see, the profit difference between taking top and bottom advised prices for NMP bets this year was 60 points, which is a huge difference and 2/3 of a betting bank. It is nice to know the extent to which profit totals for previous years could potentially be upgraded too. As long as betting using bookmaker accounts, members should be able to readily beat the lowest advised prices, because it is unlikely a member would have to take lowest advised odds on every winner that has been backed. The lowest profit figure is essentially a worst case scenario. Realistically, I don't think many members other than myself will be able to get top prices on every selection and match the top profit figures, though it may be possible those following a win-only betting strategy have outperformed my own results. But I would like to think all members with bookmaker accounts are able to beat the lowest figure. The figures reported back to me so far suggest plus a 100-point year was very much achievable for NMP members following the service in 2020. As ever, you need a bookmaker account to follow the service to best effect. He doesn't put the full review on his site until the end of the betting year, but he does supply a breakdown to members at the end of each month. Wayne provides 10 reasons why he feels you should join his Monkey Punter service. Long-term profit, He's made steady profits since 2010, and if I just pull up the year-by-year figures, you see there's only 1 year where he's actually made a loss, and that was at his low odds, which he fully expects his members to achieve better returns than. There's not that many tipsters around that have stood the test of time that long. Industry knowledge, he's written for various racing publications, and his full-time job is a racing journalist. He's won several awards from different racing websites, including 2015 to 2018 he won the Secret Betting Club Awards for the best racing tipster. That site's since been renamed as Smart Betting Club. He's proofed selections to Racing Index since he first started his tipster service, and he started proofing to the Secret Betting Club in the summer of that year. Realistic prices, his bets are emailed out to members around 8:30 to 8:45 each morning, with the occasional additional message sent out later. Since the start of 2021, I've been checking the bookmaker odds at the time the bets are sent out and can verify the prices he claims are available after the email has been received. In this example, you can see Wayne provides 2 prices, one for the best odds available and one that can be attained by at least 3 of the bigger bookmakers. Bets are provided on a scale of 0.25 to 3 points, although during the winter months he puts an upper limit of 1.5 points. He also provides his reasoning behind the bets. Here's an example of a couple of recent selections. I won't read them out to you, but I'll give you a couple of seconds to pause the video if you'd like to read them. Affordable. I'll cover that in a moment when I talk about how you can join the service. Approachable. He welcomes questions from members and anyone who's interested in joining his service. And finally, practical to follow. If there's one point I disagree on, it would be this. I'll talk about my view on that in a moment, but first I want to look at his membership options. Currently he's offering 2 membership options. You can either subscribe to the long-term membership, which is from now until the end of November this year, and that's £250, or alternatively you can pay £45 on a monthly basis. So that works out, well, we've got 9 months between now and the end of November, so that would work out at £405. So that's quite a saving there if you actually go for the long-term option. So that's £155 saved, so nearly a 40% saving. If you're thinking of subscribing to a service, you really want to be looking to do it long term. So I would recommend, if you were going to join, that you go for the long-term membership and make the big saving there. Out of all the services I've been manually proofing since the start of the year, the Northern Monkey Punter selections have definitely been the most complex to keep track of. A large part of that is due to the upcoming Cheltenham Festival, where Wayne has been providing multiples in order to generate roll-up stakes on his main anti-post fancies for the festival. These have included horse racing and some football selections. It is often not straightforward which bookmakers offer the best combined odds. There's also selections where he advises splitting the stakes between the win and each way betting markets. For example, you might have 0.25 points for the win and 0.25 points each way, giving a total of 0.5 for the win and 0.25 for the place. Selections are certainly not as straightforward as other services I've been monitoring. That being said, if like me you prefer things to be a little bit simpler, you can always use your own staking. Due to the complexities of the bets, I've not been able to monitor the Northern Monkey Punter selections in the same way I've been doing for the other tipster services. But I have been checking the prices at the time Wayne sends out the emails and can confirm those he quotes hold up well after being received by members. Wayne sends out a comprehensive update at the end of each month, where he reviews how selections have performed and provides his high-low profit figures. Rather than duplicate his analysis, I use his figures as they provide an accurate profit range you can expect to achieve following his betting advice. He recently sent out a summary to help winter members decide whether to renew their subscriptions, so I'll use those figures, which are up to the 18th of February. He breaks the figures down nicely into single bets and multiple bets, so let's have a look at the single ones first. In January there was 36.25 points staked, and those made a loss on the best odds available of minus 2.24 points and minus 5.53 points based on the low odds mentioned in his emails. In February there was 16.63 points staked up to the 18th, and those made a profit of 3.26 points based on the high odds and 0.55 based on the low odds. So far overall since the start of 2021, the single bets have made a profit of 1.02 points based on the high odds and minus 4.98 based on the lower odds. If we look at the multiples, they've not fared quite so well so far, but things aren't as bad as they initially look on the screen here. So in January, from 9.7 points staked, they made a loss of 8.22 points on the high odds and 8.34 on the low odds. And in February so far, there's been 7.63 points staked, making a loss of 6.77 on the higher odds and 7.63 on the lower odds. So overall, so far this year, there's been 17.33 points staked, with a loss of 14.99 points on the higher odds and 15.97 on the lower odds. So overall, there's a loss so far of 13.97 points based on the higher odds and minus 20.95 based on the lower odds. And members following the staking advice to the T would have made a loss somewhere between those higher and lower figures. However, as we can see, the majority of the loss has come from the doubles and trebles, but that doesn't paint the true picture. There are a number of unsettled bets that include anti-post selections for the Cheltenham Festival, which have not taken into account in the figures. Obviously, there's no guarantee the remaining selections will win at the festival, and some may not even run, but currently there's 14 multiples that hold winning elements rolling over onto selections at Cheltenham. There'll be a much clearer picture of the multiples once these bets are played out at Cheltenham, and I'll provide an update to the figures after the festival. Wayne gets heavily involved in the Cheltenham Festival, and the turf season is his main focus over the summer. So if you're interested in joining the Northern Monkey Punter service, now is as good a time as any to join. Subscribing to the end of November is £250, which works out at just under £28 a month. Keep an eye out for future updates on Northern Monkey Punter. I'll also be uploading more videos over the coming days for other tipsters I've been monitoring, both free and paid. Hit the subscribe button and ding the bell to make sure you get notified when new videos are uploaded.